Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Speak That Talks. As you know, it is Thursday, July 23rd, which means it is time to talk about hot topics, to pause, to connect with others virtually, and enjoy the next 59 minutes of Speak That Talks. So, as always, thank you to everybody who has been tuning in for the past 12 consecutive weeks in a row. I would have never thought in a million years that I would be hosting a live every Thursday in this same seat, just to have a great time with other business professionals and believers. So, it's been good, it's been fun. So, thank you all for tuning in. So as always, I welcome you all, if you're able to virtually connect. So to virtually connect, you can just add your name and your city and your thoughts in the comments. And to have even more fun together, go to the Speak That Movement page on Facebook. On the Speak That Movement page on Facebook, I can totally see who's out there, who's joined in. I can see your comments, and I can virtually pull you in to today's conversation that I'm really excited to have with a very special guest. So again, go to the Speak That Movement Facebook page if you have not already. We're about to have a wonderful conversation, and I'm really looking forward to it. It's not too late to bring in other people. So if you know some other folks, tag them and invite them over to Speak That Talks. So in case you all do not know, my name is Tiara M. Tucker. I am the founder, the CEO, and the creator of Tiara PR Network, LLC, which is my purpose-driven PR, communications, events, and consulting boutique firm based in Dallas. I am also the loving mother of Speak That Movement. Speak That Movement is my initiative to empower, uplift, and connect business professionals and believers. And this is another example of that using Speak That Talks. So just always a pleasure to do things to empower other people, to encourage people, to motivate people, and just for us all to connect and get together. So if you want to learn more about Speak That Movement or Tiara PR Network, I would love for you to check out my website at www.tiaraprnetwork.com. You can learn about all the amazing things that Tiara PR Network and Speak That Movement is doing. Also ways for you to get involved, whether you want to be a speaker on Speak That Talks, or if you want to purchase t-shirts or masks or the empowerment calendars, whatever you want to do, check it out. If you just need somebody to talk to for consultations, it's all on that website, www.tiaraprnetwork.com. So before I bring up today's special guest, I want to take a moment to acknowledge, one, that I'm wearing my Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated t-shirt today. And one of the reasons why I chose to wear it today is because some of you may have seen the hashtags that are going viral today, power in our voice, as well as sorors in solidarity. And just to give you all just a quick glimpse of it, as women of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, we believe in social justice. We believe in coming together. We believe in supporting not only ourselves, but also those within the communities. So we just want to take a stand today. We wanted to let it be known that Black women have a voice. You know, we have a voice, and there's power in our voice. And we also wanted to stand in solidarity with our soror, Miss Keisha Bottoms, who's the mayor of Atlanta. She's out in Atlanta doing her thing. She's trying to help to combat this COVID-19 pandemic by encouraging and requiring the use of masks. And in her pursuit to encourage health and safety, she's received a lot of opposition. So I just want to say, soror, I have your back. I stand in solidarity with you. Your voice matters. Your platform matters. So from Dallas to Atlanta, I'm rocking with you. So to everybody out there, just wear your mask. Protect yourself. It's not just about politics. It's about the people. It's about health. So be sure you're protecting yourself and your family. And we're going to get through this COVID-19 pandemic. We really will, but we got to keep God first and know that He's the center of all of this. All right. So now that I went through the very first hot topic, I am excited. Without another moment of me rambling, I'm excited to bring up today's speaker. So for the past couple of weeks, I've hosted this series called Walking in Your Purpose. So the very first week, Miss Shelly Mache was a guest speaker representing California. And then last week, Miss Veronica Matthews representing Maryland. So from coast to coast, Speak That Movement is rocking as we continue to encourage people to walk in their purpose. And we also don't want to just say, hey, let's walk in our purpose, but we want to explain and share some good tips on how to do that, how to overcome the obstacles along the journey as we're walking in our purpose. So I'm so excited to bring up today's guest to continue this series, which is now part 3 of the July series of Walking in Your Purpose. Miss Angelita, the Coach Thomas. So she is representing Michigan. So I'm all about the Midwest, coming from south of Chicago. So she is representing Michigan, born and raised, doing her thing out there. She is a business coach. She's an author. She's a speaker. And she calls herself a networking expert. So without further ado, Speak That Movement, Speak That Talks, and Tierra PR Network, help me welcome my sister, Angelita the Coach Thomas.
Hey, how are you? Hey, everyone. I hope everyone is having a great day. Thank you for having me. How are you?
Yes. Hey, girl, I'm doing good. Thank you. It's a pleasure to talk to you. It's funny because for those of you who do not know, she and I just met. So with this series, I really asked God, like, okay, what should we be talking about in July? And it was really placed in my heart, let's talk about purpose. So it just evolved. And I was blessed to just come across 3 amazing women by literally putting it out in the atmosphere that I wanted to talk to some speakers. I wanted to talk to people. I wanted to bring new people into this platform. And I was blessed with you, Veronica, and Shelly. And it just so happened that the underlying theme that I was finding with you and the other 2 ladies was purpose. So it only made sense.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So like you said, I am a networking expert, business growth coach, professional speaker, and author. And so it took me a minute to get where I am. And I'm happy that I'm here. I'm happy that I feel like I am definitely walking in my purpose. So I'm a mom of 4 and a grandmother of 1. I'm just really enjoying life. I am enjoying this journey. I'm embracing it. I'm able to embrace it and enjoy it and just pretty much just be a lover of life at this moment.
I love it. So I'm hearing a little echo, but I'm excited, as I said about 3,000 times that I'm excited because I know that we are going to have a good conversation. You are doing your thing. You are right where you're supposed to be. So before we get into this conversation, I have to give some shout outs. We have some people out here who are joining us. So shout out to Miss Andrea, Dr. Andrea Wilson, my soror of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, representing the Washington, D.C. metro area. Thank you for joining us. Hello, Miss Karen Wilson. Karen Wilson has been rocking with Speak That Movement for a very long time. So I love you and I salute you, representing Peoria, Illinois. Hello, Mama Janice Tucker Farrell, representing Dallas, Texas, by way of our hometown of Kankakee, Illinois. And hello, Miss Veronica Matthews, who was the amazing speaker last week, who has such a great time with. And thank you about the hair. I had to get it washed. So if you all want to join in on the conversation, we would love to have you to virtually talk and interact with Angelita and myself. Just go on the Speak That Movement page on Facebook, and we would love to pull you into the conversation, because I don't know about you, Angelita, but I have a feeling that we're about to get real hot.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yes. So before we start, okay, we have to do this. Okay, you all notice that we have these backgrounds behind us, so we just have to show y'all. So when we were preparing, we like did we redecorated our living rooms, right? So we decided, you know what? Angelita was preparing her background, and she decided to pull out her sign. I'm like, well, let me pull out my sign. So we had a really good time bonding as we
Absolutely.
decided to represent our brands. So,
Absolutely.
so before we get started, let's talk real quick. Let's talk about how did your brand start? Like, I know you told us about what you do. You're in the middle of this journey, but let's talk before we get into some hot topics. Let's talk about how you kicked off your brand.
Okay. So how I kicked off Angelita the coach.
Yep.
Okay, so I won't say oddly enough, but I had a business before I became a coach. And what I noticed is that people will always come to me and they would be like, so what did you do to start the business? How did you do this? How did you do that? And I found myself just always giving them tips to say, okay, I did this, I did that. This is this is how I started. And so as I just, developed as a person, I realized that I had to kind of like, first of all, let me say this. Our plan that we have this plan for our life. Like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. No, you're not. No, you're not. So I thought that was what I was going to do. I had this plan for my life to say, hey, I'm going to do things this way. And what happens is you get so wrapped up in the things that you want to do that you forget, sometimes your plan is not going to work because it is not the plan that God set out for you. So what happens is that when you're on this great path that you think, it takes a detour. Sometimes you do a whole loop around, you do a whole circle, and you go back. God brings you back like, okay, now let's start again. Yeah. So for me, that was kind of where what happened. People would ask me, I would give them advice, talk to them about, how to start a business. And then I would look over here and I would be like, well, such and such is doing this over here. I think I can do that. I got distracted and started doing other things that I should not have been doing. And so, God just brought me right back and was like, I need you here, be here. So I was obedient to, okay, let me go back. I got to redo some things. And so, and just praying and just listening to that inner voice that we should be listening to, that took me on the path of saying, okay, it's time to develop as a coach. It's time to start coaching, because I noticed that when I'm talking to people, we're talking about business. I get that. But sometimes we have to get some personal things together before we can move into business. And if we don't have the personal stuff together, we're not going to get the business stuff together. So, that's where it came. And that's where, and I know we're going to talk about fear later, so I'm not going to really go into that. But when you start being obedient and you do one thing, doors open. And I'll just say that doors have opened. When I started, it was, Angelita, just the coach part. And then the author part came. And then the speaker part came. And, there's just so much that is coming, behind everything that I do, because I feel like I'm on the right track and I'm being obedient to the call that God has on me.
Yes, I love that. And you said some things that really resonated, like life is a journey, right?
Absolutely.
And sometimes we want to go down what we think makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But as
No.
they say, you can write your plans down with a pencil if you want to. Don't use a permanent marker.
Yes. Because I guarantee you they're going to change. If they're your plans, they're going to change. Absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
right. I love that. And you have a shout out. So Miss
Hi, Helena. Oh, I love her. She is such a great supporter. I love her. She's my sister.
well,
We're in
hello.
a social club, Sip Social Club. So I have to shout out Sip Social Club and my sister.
Yeah. Well, good. So, we're going to get into our first hot topic of the day. So, we're going to continue the conversation from the past 2 weeks, and we're going to talk about walking in your purpose. So, as we just talked about, we talked about this journey of,
Mhm.
we want to do things the way we think we're supposed to do it, right? So, let's talk a little bit more about walking in your purpose. So, when you see this hashtag, walking in your purpose, what is it? What does it mean to you?
To me, that means like, all of those chains and those shackles, for me that I was holding on to for years, like they came off and I'm strutting. Okay, y'all. I am strutting and I am walking in my purpose. I'm walking in my God-given purpose. Like I'm good, I don't have like shame or, like, oh, I don't know if I should do this. Or I'm just like, hey, y'all, this is what you get. This is what you get. And then I think though too, it kind of, some people struggle like with their purpose. Like, what is my purpose? And they don't know what that is. And I think that once you have a passion for something, and once you're kind of doing what you're passionate about, and I think then once you do it, you find your purpose. So if you're working and you're doing your passion, I think that you then figure out what your purpose is, and I think a lot of prayer goes into that, a lot of meditation goes into that. Sometimes just honestly just being by yourself and getting to know you as a person goes into that. And that's one of the things that a lot of us fail. We don't like being by ourselves, because we don't like that person that we see. And so, it's a lot of, I guess I just call it self mastery that you have to come into. It's a lot of things that you got to go through to get to your purpose, definitely. But you got to be willing to do the work
Mm.
if you want to walk in your purpose. Because I'm telling you, when you're walking in your purpose, it's dope, y'all. It feels good. You feel good, because you're doing the right thing. It feels good. Trust me, it feels good.
I love it. I can sense the energy. And the past 2 weeks, and if you all have not seen the past 2 weeks, please check them out. They're on the YouTube as well as the Facebook page for Speak That Movement. But we talked a lot about, well, how do we understand our purpose? Like, what if we don't know what our purpose is? And I think that one of the consistent messages was, and I totally agree, sometimes you just gotta be still, right? Be still, pause.
Yeah.
Go back to when you were a child. What did you love to do? What are people always saying? Hey, you do this so well. Hey, have you thought about this before?
Mhm.
So what advice or counsel do you give people when they are like, Angelita, the coach, I don't know what my purpose is?
Well, let's go back and let's get some clarity. I start with I start with a routine of questions that I'm asking you because you need to get clarity on what it is that you want to do. What is your vision? What's your passion? What ultimately, what is the mission? What are you hoping to get out of, what it is that you're doing? And that could be whether it is, your business or whether it's your personal, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, a lot of people say a brain dump. Sometimes you literally have to do a brain dump, so that's pretty much where I start. Let's start with clarity. What is it that you want to do? What's your mission? What's your vision? Yeah, that's where I start because that's important. If you don't know that, then we got to start there first to get to the next level. And then ultimately, one of the things that I say, and I learned, I had a talk a couple years ago with a young lady, and I say everything now. I say just do it scared. Just do it scared. Just do it scared. Do it.
I love it.
Do it. Because here's the thing. What's the worst thing that can happen? What's the worst thing that can happen? Is that it not work? Okay. But guess what? You learned from that mistake of it not working. So now let's go back to the drawing board and let's rework the plan. We know what the goal is. We just have to rework the plan to get to the goal. It's a simple process, but I just don't, some people don't want to do the work, or it's not that they don't want to do the work, they just don't know how to do the work.
Yeah, I love that. And Angelita, I'm sorry if you didn't see Angelita, but Veronica said, "Who are you?" That's a good one, right? Like people have to really look deep within themselves. And what I like what you said is, now you're walking in your purpose, and you probably don't care what other people have to say, what they think. Like we're walking in our purpose, and it's unapologetic.
Okay. Say that one more time. It's unapologetic.
Unapologetic.
Absolutely. And when you know who you are, hey, it's just like you said, I'm strutting in my stuff. There was a point in time where, I would be worried about, what are they going to say? What are other people going to say? What are they going to do? Maybe I don't have enough experience, or I don't have enough knowledge. So you doubt yourself, and then you don't continue the work. You stop doing it. You know what I'm saying? And so I got to the point where, why am I going to doubt myself? Or why am I going to wait for somebody to create a platform for me? I created my own platform. I didn't wait for anybody to create a platform for me. If I would have waited for someone to create a platform, I would still be waiting right now. Okay. Angelita Thomas, Angelita the coach, because I'm out here saying, hey, you don't want me to speak at a webinar? Not a problem. I do my own webinar. Okay. You know what? I'll hold my own events. I'm cool with that too. And that's exactly what I did too. That's exactly what
I love that. And I feel like I totally get it. Like TRPR Network, Speak That Movement. I created that. Thank God for giving me the vision. I give him all the credit and all the glory for that. He gave the vision, and I was obedient enough to walk into it, scared, as we're going to talk about in a moment, without resources, not even knowing if I had support, out of my own pocket, creating platforms because I couldn't wait on anybody else to. And so what I like about what you said is, you have to do the work. It's not going to be handed to you. Well, as you're walking in your purpose, first understand, what is my purpose? Who am I? What's my identity? What's my mission, as you said? But then you got to do the work.
Yeah, you got to do the work. It's not going to be handed to you. And that's and that, for a lot of people, even including myself, that's the hardest part, is doing the work. We have to submit to our processes. Exactly.
And as Dr. Dre said, process, preparation, promotion, walk in purpose. I love it.
I love that. I love that. Yep, absolutely. Yes.
So let's talk a little bit more. We're going to go into our second hot topic, which I think is going to be a good one. So we talked about walking in purpose. As I said, y'all check out the other two videos. We went a little deeper into the how to figure out your purpose. So we have that out there. So we're going to take this to another level, and we're going to talk about fear. Let's talk about fear. Angelita, the coach. What are your thoughts on that?
Fear is like, that's the biggest one for me, because let me tell you, fear will keep you in your comfort zone and you will not move. And we all know that great things don't happen in our comfort zone. You have to move. And I have to, when I talk about fear, I have to speak about one particular situation with me, because when I overcame that fear, I promise you, this door was opening, that door was opening. So y'all might laugh at me, but I don't care. I'm gonna tell y'all anyways. Okay. I will be 42 next month. Okay. Thank God. I will be 42. But for a lot of those years, up until I was 39 and a half, okay, I did not fly. I was terrified to fly. Okay. I don't care what you said, you could not pay me to get on a plane. If you want to start talking about a plane, it would get me getting on a plane. The anxiety of it would be so bad that I would start crying because I was terrified. Okay. So all these years, and people would be like, why are you scared? I'm just like, you know what? Because I'm on that plane is going to crash. I mean, it was bad. And so I remember talking to my friend a friend who used to live here. I'm gonna call her name out because she may be listening. Her name is Peggy. And Peggy moved to South Carolina. And so we would still have a conversation. And I'm going to tell you, her and her husband poured so much into me. And she is where I got the just do it. Just do it. Do it scared. Just do it. So, y'all, I bought a ticket. I was scared. I bought a ticket. Okay. And prior to me buying the ticket, I wanted people to fly with me. And whatever the reason was, they kept canceling. Something kept coming up. They could not fly with me. So finally, I bought a ticket. And I bought a ticket to California. So just think about, I live in Detroit, Michigan, California. That's like the longest. That's like 5 hours. Was that like a 4-hour flight, I believe? 4 or 5 hour flight. It's a long flight, right? So I bought this ticket I bought it, went to the airport. Nobody was flying with me. And I did. I had a Long Island IC at 7 o'clock in the morning at the airport. I sure did. And I got on this plane. And oddly enough, I was not scared when I got to the airport. I was not scared when I got on the plane. I was not scared when the plane took off and I did not see because I refused to look out the window. But I wasn't scared. It was a little uneasy because it was something that I had never done before. But I did it and I landed. I landed in California and I seen my brother, who I had only met one time. And so we hadn't seen each other in 9 years. So I took that flight. I came back. And I will say this: where are we going? Where are we flying to? When are we going? Like, that is my mindset now. And when I came back, I felt as though I was a new person. I was a different person. I looked at things differently. And then, the dots started connecting. I live 2 miles away from our airport, and I've lived in this spot for 7 years. Okay. And so when I came back, I realized, and God spoke to me, he said, you had to do this by yourself, because where I'm taking you, you can't take everybody with you. You have to do this, and you have to do it by yourself. So I just feel like where I live, it was all lined up. Like everything was lined up. Because I'm on this path, I'm on this mission, and I was obedient, and I overcame my fear. So basically, what I'm saying, my faith was more. I relied on my faith more than I relied on the fear. Okay, my faith took over. And with that being said, because I'm like, okay, God, I surrender to you. I'm believing in you. All these doors started opening. I'm speaking in other states, South Carolina. I would not have done that. I wouldn't have done that had I not gotten on a plane, And then from that situation, there was, there was an anthology that was birthed from that conference with the other speakers. So it's just like, and I'm saying this and I can keep going on and keep going on and keep telling you what one thing did. I did this and then the doors open for another thing and then another thing. Like I could keep going on and telling you. But my whole point is fear doesn't exist. It does not exist. It is honestly a prison that you keep yourself in that stops you from living your purpose, your God-given purpose, you know? So I get excited, you know, when I start talking about faith and when I start talking about fear, because now I'm like, y'all, okay, I only fly Delta and
You're like, car? You're not driving, I'm flying.
I'm like, Spirit Airlines? No. But real talk though, I'm scared of Spirit because they got too much stuff. Not flying them. But you know what I'm saying? It just opened. Oh my God, it's amazing. Like it's amazing. Like I feel like a new me probably over the last year and a half, the last 2 years. Like I feel like, you know, before I turned 40, I was just existing.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And like for the past year and a half of my life, I've been living.
Mm. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. The power of overcoming fears to go from existing to living. Speak on that a little bit more.
I mean, it's like, you know, I always thought of, okay, well, I'm not going to do this because of this, and I'm not going to do that because of that. Now I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm doing it. Because here's the thing, you get one life, okay? And I need y'all to live that to the utmost because you only get one. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, man, why wasn't I living prior to this? And here's the thing, when you start living versus existing, you feel it. You know, you feel it within. It's a whole different feeling. It's exciting. I know y'all hear me, you know, my energy right now because it's exciting. I'm like, oh my God, I wasted so much time. Yes, I'm just like, oh my God, I wasted so much time worrying about things that really didn't matter. That didn't matter at all. And then not to mention the fear that I had of flying, that wasn't even my fear. I took on someone else's fear. That wasn't my fear. My grandmother told me the story of how she was terrified to fly when I was a kid and she screamed on the plane. And if my grandmother said flying is horrible, then it has to be horrible. That wasn't my fear. That was my grandmother's fear that I took on. So we have to be mindful what we hear, what we let go into our mind, because we can take on other people's stuff and not even know we're taking on other people's stuff. That was my granny fear, y'all. That ain't had nothing to do with me. And I've been missing out. You know, I feel like I have been missing out. So now, you know, I take every opportunity to just live. And, you know, of course, I'm not saying that fear doesn't exist anymore in my life and it doesn't come up. Of course, I'm still a little fearful of things, but here's the thing though, the difference is now I'm fearful, but I still do it because my faith overrides my fear. And so your faith needs to override your fear. Because when it does, I'm telling y'all, this door gonna open, that door gonna open, this person gonna want to do business with you. You're gonna get calls from people that you like, I didn't even know she knew who I was, or I didn't even know he knew who I was. Like, it's amazing, y'all. It's amazing. Try it. I'm telling
you. And Veronica, when you wake up to what fear costs you, you're never the same.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And as you can see, fear cost me literally my entire life. That's how I feel, you know. And yeah, it cost me my entire life because I was so worried about what other people thought or what other people would say. You know, like I said, the past year and a half, 2 years, I done cut off the size of my head, y'all. I cut off the size of my head at 40 years old. I said, you know what, y'all? I'm about to get a mother. At 41 years old, I said, you know what, y'all? I'm going to put a ring in my nose. And the old Angelita wouldn't have done that because, oh, God, people aren't going to like me. They're going to judge me. No, I'm not going to do that. Yeah, I'm doing it now. I'm doing it. Because here's the thing. You're going to like me if you like me. It doesn't matter about the mohawk. It doesn't matter about the nose ring. If you like me, you like me. If you don't, you don't.
Yeah, that's good. And what I love about that, and first of all, let me tell you this. You weren't in fear your entire life. You might have been in fear those first few years of your life, but your greater years are ahead of you, sister. Like,
Absolutely,
you
yes.
haven't even seen what lies ahead. Like, you haven't heard, you haven't seen, you can't even probably think about what lies ahead because I feel good about your future and your path because you're obedient. You're doing things to make a difference for other people. You're trusting the process. You're walking along the journey. You're choosing faith over fear. So your best days are ahead of you.
Yes, I received that. Absolutely. 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 And
Yeah.
that's really the thing that I just really want to share with people and get them to understand. Get out that comfort zone. Just, I mean, in business and life, it just get out that zone because there's so much that's in store for you. But if you stay in that fear, it's kind of like, and this is what I say for those who are like, God is my salvation and God takes care of me and God does everything for me. But here's the thing, if you're fearful, then are you really trusting what God says? Are you really trusting what God has for you? Because if that's the case, with even in fear, you would still move forward because your faith in God is stronger than your fear.
Yeah, that's good. And you're making me think about how can we break generational curses
Girl,
to
don't get me started.
generational blessings if we're not willing to do something different. Grandma, and bless her heart, grandma
Mm-hmm.
didn't want to fly.
Mm-mm. No,
Grandma
she.
then was driving to Mississippi from Illinois and Michigan in the cars with the chicken wrapped in aluminum foil right in the back seat.
Girl, okay, my grandmother and that chicken.
Grandma, they may not have all been flying on planes, but guess what? Grandbabies, great grandbabies, and great great grandbabies, we're seeing the world, right?
Yes,
So
absolutely.
if we have to sometimes break the generational curses or the generational fears, right?
We
And we
have to.
have to step out there because sometimes it just takes that one person to step out there and somebody is watching. They're like, oh, if she could do it, I could do it. It may not be the exact same path,
Right.
but it helps. It clears the path a little and gives somebody something to go after.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's the thing that I said. I'm like, okay, look, my children are not going to be 40 years old getting on a plane for the first time in their life. Okay. We're not doing that. You know, the things that I did not, there she go. Miss, that's Miss Peggy right there. That's the one who told me just do it scared. Just do it scared. But yeah, they're not gonna be 40 years old, okay, getting on a plane. They're not gonna be 40 years old doing anything for the most part by themselves, or for the first time, like, okay, well now I can do it. I'm not scared. No, we're nipping all of that in the bud. We're traveling by plane. Um, they may have to do some road trips with their dad, but they won't do any road trips with me. We
That's right.
flying. We flying.
Yes, and I'm loving the energy in the comments. Yes, like I'm loving it. Thank you, ladies, and thank you guys out there for joining this virtual conversation. Um,
Yes.
life
Yes.
is being spoken, baby. Write it down because when this Walking in Your Purpose series is over, when COVID-19 is over, there are going to be some people who are going to have dreams come true that they didn't even know was possible, right? There are going to
Mm-hmm.
be people who are going to be discovering their purpose because COVID-19 is forcing us to be still and
Yes.
quiet long enough to finally ask ourselves, what
Yeah.
was I born to do? I
Yeah.
can't go here. I can't go there anymore. I'm not on a plane right now because, folks may not be traveling. So people are forced to be still. And I believe there are going to be some people, when this is all said and done, they're gonna hear the whispers, they're gonna hear the screams, they're gonna be ready. So what are your
Absolutely.
thoughts about that? Like capturing this moment.
So for me, and it's funny because in the midst of all of this getting my life together, I was one of those people who did not like to be in the house. I didn't like to be by myself. I needed to be around people. I needed to be doing things. And I just feel like God got me together before this pandemic, because let me tell you, when they were like, you can't go nowhere, you can't do nothing, I was like, okay, that's fine. I only deal with people on my terms anyway, so I'll stay in the house. Because you want to know why? I'm comfortable with me. I love me, so I can sit and be with me by myself. Okay, so that was no problem for me. But let me tell you what this pandemic has done, though. For me, this pandemic has me working on another business. This pandemic has me in the middle of writing not one but two more books. So, okay, this pandemic has me working. This pandemic has me thinking. Um, this pandemic has me meditating a little more, praying a little more, getting to know myself a little more, spending time with, my kids who tell me I'm an old lady now. So, this pandemic really, it's great for a lot of us and it's bad for a lot of us. But one of the things that I try to tell people, there's a positive in every situation. And I know that this situation for some people are bad, but I took everything and turned it into a positive. Oh, I can't host no events in person no more. I can't do my coffee and conversation. Not a problem. We'll do it online. We'll have coffee and conversation virtually. Oh, I can't network? Not a problem. We're going to network within my Facebook community or in other communities. Like I'm a networker. I like to meet people. No problem. I'm still going to do it. So you have to just sometimes just sit back. Sometimes you just got to sit back and wait. No movement, no talking, no nothing. Just sit back and wait and just listen. And this really could just be the season. I honestly think that there's so much going on in the world and there's so much going on in general. I honestly feel that this was God's way of telling everybody, sit down. Yep. That's my opinion. Yeah. I'm sorry, say that one more time.
And I'm in control.
Exactly. That's how I feel. And I have to say that, I thank God and I've been blessed that in the midst of this pandemic, I haven't skipped a beat. You know what I'm saying? I've still been able to pay my bills, and you know what I'm saying? Life is still moving like it was for me before the pandemic, as far as when it financially. And that's a blessing because a lot of people, may or may not have those means. So again, I take it as, okay, I'm listening to you now. I'm doing what you're telling me to do. And because I'm listening and because I'm being obedient, things are happening in my life the way that they're happening. Be still and listen. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's real. That's real. I had a guest speaker maybe a month ago, and we talked about the pandemic, right? Nobody's happy about COVID-19. Nobody's,
absolutely.
We're not happy about this, but some of us are happy about the quarantine period of it, where you're by yourself, you're listening, and not just listening, right? Because faith without works is what?
Dead. Oh my goodness, I said that to somebody today. I said that today to somebody. I sure did. That's how I know that was confirmation. Yes, get somebody to sit down and listen.
In the spirit of grandmothers, whose grandmother has ever said, Get somewhere and sit down somewhere. Okay.
Exactly. Exactly.
I,
Yes. Yes.
all
Wow.
right, sister. This has been good. I am so loving this energy. I'm loving the interaction. So thank you all out there. If you still want to tune in and join in on the conversation, again, go to the Speak That Movement page on Facebook. We'll be here. Tag some people. Bring
Mhm.
some people into this conversation so that we can all get some empowerment tonight. So let's go on to our third hot topic of the day. Let's do a drum roll. I like a drum roll.
I'm sorry, my phone is over here blowing up because I got the watch party going, and they're
And
just like ding, ding, ding.
that's a good thing, right? I have a
That's
watch
a good
party
thing.
going on this side. So everybody, if you see us drifting, it's because we got a lot of people. So that's a good thing.
That's a
So
good thing. I flipped the phone over though.
no, it's
I get
okay. It's okay because listen, if you're out there on our individual pages, we thank you. We thank you.
absolutely. Yes, yes, yes,
You to go to the search field and type in "Speak That Movement" and join
yes.
the conversation over here.
I'm over enjoying the conversation over here. Yes, absolutely.
So all good, trust me, all good. That's what a virtual conversation is all about. It's all about that. And I tell people, speak that talks. It's unscripted, it's unfiltered, and it's uncensored. Okay.
Oh,
Do
uncensored.
what you do. All right. So well, actually, this is the fourth hot topic of the day, but the third hot topic for you and I. So let me get a drum roll real quick.
You hear it?
Support. So
Yes.
this is a special hot topic for many reasons. For one, beginning of this Speak That Talks, I talked about how the sorors of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Inc., as well as other people around the world, came together in solidarity to support the fight for health, public health, to support Atlanta's mayor. So supporting the fight for social justice and just supporting so many things. And I feel like over the past few months, we've seen people come together, all walks of life, all backgrounds, all races and religions have came together to support Black Lives Matter, to support the need for social justice. Obviously, most people know social justice, social activism is very near and dear to my heart. So also I look at this particular conversation with you and I. This is a result of support. Like you didn't
Absolutely.
know me, I didn't know you. We probably, Googled each other. But
Absolutely. You do that.
tip out there, as you're walking along your journey and you're stepping out there, think about your brand. Your brand is if you're wanting to do greater things in life and bigger things in life, you have to take those steps. Think about your brand. Think about your integrity. Think about your character. Think about all those things about you so that when those opportunities present themselves, you don't have to say much. I didn't have to say many words to you. You didn't have to say many words to me. We said, okay,
We vibing.
support
Let's
her.
do
We want to support each other. So let's talk about support. And in particular, let's talk about the lack of support, and let's talk about the power of support.
it. That's good. That's good. Which one you want to go with first? The lack or the power?
Let's go with the lack of support that people receive as they're walking along their journeys. So people, they discovered purpose, discovered it, got it.
Mm-hmm.
Overcame fear, got it. Support.
Here's the thing. A lot of times when it comes to support, who are the first people we go to for support? We go to our family, we go to our friends, right? Sometimes that support from family and friends isn't there. And that can be disheartening for some. It can make people kind of look at, okay, well, am I doing the right thing? Because, my family doesn't support me. My friends doesn't support me. Um, And the thing of it is that there's a couple things that I think when it comes with for the lack of support with family and friends. With friends, number one, they look at where you used to be right along with them. So they look at it as, who are you? Now you think you're better than me? You used to be the person that did A, B, and C with me, but I'm no longer that person. I'm moving forward. So they don't understand your growth. That's the best way I can put it. They don't understand your growth, so they're not going to support you. Okay. Same way kind of with family too in certain situations. You was the same little nappy-headed girl who did A, B, and C over here. Okay. You done started your little business. So girl, ain't nobody studying you and your little business. Okay.
So, you know,
Look, like your grandma said, get somewhere and sit down. Ain't nobody thinking about you and your little business. So you have that, and I know I'm laughing, but it's true, you know. And those are the things we're like, girl, you ain't starting no business. You're not doing A, B, and C. And so, like, even for me, exactly, true story, Karen. You know exactly. So even for me, I'm be honest, it was that lack of support. I had that lack of support with family because I felt I'm pretty sure family looking, oh, here she go with one of her crazy ideas over here you know what I'm saying, oh, that ain't nobody but Angie acting crazy. So you know what I'm saying, they don't take you serious. And so that's been my case, but I'm not going to say not everyone in my family has not supported me. Like I have, like I call her my auntie mama. She tries to buy every book. She tries to buy every single thing that I do. She tries to make sure she gets it and buys it and she supports me. But so I have to give her props because I don't want her to be like, you ain't say I want to give her props. So and it's okay. And exactly, Janice. Sometimes you just have to walk alone, and you have to be a strong individual, because honestly, I'm not going to lie, when I realized, that I wasn't getting the support that I felt like I should from my family, I was kind of like, I did second guess myself. But then I had to think about it. So you over here second guessing me, but I told this person over here who's not my family, who's not my friend, we just happened to connect and network, and we're having a whole conversation, and you like it. You're giving me support. So it was kind of like, But then also at the same time, I realized that, and this is what I think that a lot of people have to realize, sometimes your family and your friends, that's really not your target. That's also not your target audience. Okay. So you shouldn't be targeting your family and your friends. And half of the time, I think sometimes, it's a good thing that your family and friends aren't in the mix, because, I feel like for the most part, people have a handout. Like, okay, well, I'm your cousin. What, you gonna give me a discount? No, I'm not. No, I'm not. So even for me, and I will say the majority of my support, my business, all of that has come from total strangers. And I'm okay with that. I could, because I honestly think that some people in my family may look at it like, that ain't nobody but Angie. She over there doing, I mean, I don't know what you're thinking, and I don't know, but we have to just be understanding and mindful that we're not always going to get the support from family and friends. And then with that being said, you also have to be mindful of who you tell your good news to. Because when you tell somebody your good news and you're excited, you're like, oh my God, I'm doing this, and oh my God, I'm doing that. And you're so excited, and their response is, that's nice. That's like a joy kill all in itself, So sometimes when it comes to support, you have to just be careful, be mindful of who you share certain news with, because it could kill your joy. And it's okay if you don't get the support from people that you think you should get the support from. Trust me, there are tons of people out here who need you and who are looking for you and who are tied to you. So don't let that discourage you from moving forward with what you want to do.
Yes, that's very good. I love everything you said. So I feel like along the journey to dream and goal realization, God will bring the people. He will
Absolutely.
bring the people. I call them the guardian angels or the special angels, where God will deposit those people along the journey, the people that will plant the financial seeds, the people that will show up for every live just to say, hey, I'm here, I got your back. The people
Exactly.
who go to the networking events or buy the books or attend and RSVP for the engagement. So I think that, we hit that one. We hit it well. And I just want to add a comment that Veronica, we got a couple of comments. We might go
Okay.
over today, but is that okay? Because the
Oh.
interaction is good. I have to bring in these comments real quick. So, Dr. Andrea, Jesus left family in his neighborhood to prepare for and walk in ministry, and his disciples were not blood relatives.
Come on. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Veronica, who was last week's speaker, the vision and purpose is ours, not theirs. So when they don't support or understand, it's okay because God's got us.
Absolutely.
Yes, 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 Mama.
Yes.
And then Mom says, God will always send the right people.
Absolutely.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Absolutely.
So I think that we hit that very well. So we're gonna move on to what I like to call my favorite part of the Speak That Talks and the Speak That Movement Empowerment Socials, and that's the Speak That Speed round. So this is the opportunity, yes, where I get to ask guest speakers in
Okay.
as few words as possible. I want to hear your take, your spin. I want you to Angelita the coach ism.
Oh, I'm so using that, Angelita the coach ism. I'm taking that.
of my four pillars of Speak That Movement. So the four pillars of my Speak That Movement are dream it, believe it, speak it, and walk it. So in as few words as possible, because this is a speed round,
Oh, wow.
I need you to break down each one. So I'll give them to you one by one, and this is your opportunity to empower every listener right now and everybody that's going to catch the replay. So
Girl, you want me to do it fast?
just in as few words as possible. You don't have to talk fast, but I
As
have
few words as possible.
in
Okay.
as few words as possible.
Okay.
So, Speak That Movement pillar number one, dream it. What does that mean to you?
Mm. If you dream it, you can manifest it. That's the first thing that came to my mind. So, if you dream it, if you dream it, it can become a reality.
I love it.
Okay.
Believe it.
You gotta believe it if you want it to manifest. It's a must. You gotta believe in yourself more than anything, and the things that you want to do.
I love it. Speak it.
Speak it into existence. Speak it into existence. Write it down on your board. Put it on your vision board. You put it on a sticky note.
I love it. Dream it, believe it, speak it, and last but certainly not least, walk it.
Baby, you better put on them heels and strut and walk in your God-given purpose and quit playing, okay? You got to feel good about it, okay? Yes, come on. Walk it, strut in it. You don't need nobody's permission but God, okay? Okay, I guess that was my favorite one. Can you tell the energy?
You were feeling that way. You made me want to put on some heels and just walk around the living room real
Man,
quick.
you better strut in them heels, walk in that purpose. Come on.
Yes. So, Miss Angelita, the coach, Thomas, thank you so much for being the special guest this week for the third week in a row of the Walk in Your Purpose series. So tell us, before we close out, we still have a few more minutes, everybody. Tell us, how can people follow you? How can they support you? How can they interact with you?
you guys definitely can rock with me follow me on social media, Facebook and Instagram. I'm Angelita the Coach, just that simple. And definitely you can go to my website and see everything there, which is www.coachangelita.com.
I love it. So, what I'm so excited to announce right now, I'm really excited to announce this, okay?
I'm excited too.
So, for next week, the last Thursday in July, we're going to close out the Walking in Your Purpose series next Thursday, same place, same time, 8 o'clock p.m. Central Time, with a grand finale event. Not only will Angelita the Coach be back with us, but we're bringing back my last two speakers. Shelly Mache out of California is coming back. Veronica Matthews out of Maryland is coming back. And for the first time in history, all four of us will be together. California, Maryland, Detroit, Michigan, and Dallas, Texas will be in the Speak That Talks virtual building.
Nice. Yay. Oh, I gotta give you you get all types of drum rolls for that. I love it. Yeah. I'm excited. I am looking forward to talking with these ladies as well, because I know they just bring a wealth of power, right along with them. So yeah, definitely. It's gonna be nice.
So I'm excited. So any final words that you want to share before we get to see you again next week? Any final words?
Y'all just do you. Be you, be yourself, be your authentic self, walk in your purpose, manifest your destiny. I like to say thoughts become things. If you think it, it becomes your reality. Okay, so you got this, y'all. Put on them heels and strut and walk in your purpose.
And there you have it, everybody. Angelita the Coach Thomas. So kudos out there. Thank you to everybody who was tuning in from coast to coast, multiple cities. It was such a blessing to have you all here. Angelita the Coach, I will see you next week, sister.
Yes, thank you. Good night.
All right, guys. I want to thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for sticking with us until the very end. We went a little bit over, but it was such great dialogue and conversation. So I just want to tell you all, we'll be here next week. Continue to dream it, believe it, speak it, and walk it. Shout out to the Speak That Movers out there, folks that are part of the private group, people that have declared that they will live their best life, okay? No matter what comes in our way, no COVID-19, no social injustices, nothing will stop us from going after our dreams. So let's put the fear to the side and let's walk in our purpose. Thank you for supporting Tierra PR Network and Speak That Movement. Go to the website to learn more. And as always, I must tell you, may God bless you and protect you. Be blessed, everybody. Take care.